Hey, Art.
Hello, everyone. We're just waiting for everyone.
Chris
guys.
is here.
Hi, Chris.
There was an attachment that they provided the current phone numbers and email addresses.
Oh, look at that. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
You
you.
are.
Oh,
Woohoo!
hi.
Party can start.
The party can start.
Catherine, what's the difference between what you're doing now and what you did last time that you couldn't get on?
Well, the last time I was on my personal notebook and I had 2 monitors hooked up to it, and obviously the main monitor was disconnected, and I'm thinking, or was deactivated in that monitor configuration, and I think that shut down the video at the same time. But I was never able to get it to come up. So I called in. Right now I'm actually on computer audio. The last 2 times we've been on had the meeting, my phone call dropped off. So it's like, okay, now I'll just be on computer audio also.
There's a very bright window behind you, and it's
Is it
interfering with.
distracting? Okay,
Yeah.
I will go ahead and shut it and see if that will help.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make sure I label the identities and colors. And I apologize, the system does not retain your phone number. So if I'm asking you and you think I should know who you are, it doesn't retain it until I name it. So the caller under the 300-8776 number, could you identify yourself?
It's Linda Bill, and if you could you get a little closer to your microphone because I can barely hear you.
Okay, I tend to talk about
You be quiet, otherwise you're gonna get kicked out. Okay.
Me, Catherine?
I'm back.
No, her dog.
Okay.
Oh, you can see my dog?
No, I heard you say you be quiet or I'm going to kick you out.
Yes, I was talking to the dog. You're right.
So,
Never can tell, right?
That's true.
if I could ask the caller that's on the 905-7156 number to identify.
Sorry, I can't hear you, but I think did you say 512-905-7156?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this is Hanoi Avila.
Hi, Hanoi. I think you joined us at a previous meeting. This
Correct,
is Louis.
yes. Yes, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I hope you're well.
All right, thanks.
And here's the other stuff.
Louis, are you cooking?
I am snacking.
Okay.
I'm used to having dinner about this time.
I know I had to eat early also. My husband was going to make Spam tacos and I decided to find something else to eat.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, I don't have an objection to Spam. It's just that there's lots of other things to eat in my house besides Spam.
Wow, that's a new one for me. Spam tacos. Wow. I've heard of fish tacos, but not
Yeah.
spam.
Well, it's like ham, so like a ham taco, I guess.
Makes sense.
Hey, Catherine, I think we have all the directors online.
Yeah. Okay. Do we still have people who are calling in?
Not that I can see. It looks
Okay.
like we have Linda, Sarah, and Hanoi are residents. And then we have Lee, Michael Luft, Herb, Christy's on. You can see Christy on the video.
Okay. So Hanoi, were you planning on making a comment after I opened the meeting?
No, no comment.
Okay. Well, then I am going to call this meeting of the WTCMUD1 Board of Directors to order. I'm going to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded, and I'm going to open it up to agenda item number 1, which is public comments, and I will start with Linda.
Thank you, Catherine. And let me first apologize, but I am severely congested. So if I stop to clear my throat, it has nothing to do with anything other than I am severely congested. Tonight, I have a public comment, and I also have a presentation under item 2 on the agenda, a presentation from the Community Forum for WTCMUD1.
Hold on. I don't think that the Community Forum is a recognized group who's going to be making presentations under that agenda item. Bill,
Oh, why is that, Catherine?
Bill, you're on mute. Can we have a discussion about that?
Well, Catherine, I don't think that agenda item was intended for it, but it is an agenda item, and if she wants to speak under that item, she can have her comments on it.
Well,
I want to do a presentation under that item.
okay.
Let me suggest we may be setting a precedent here. We're going to have the community forum at every meeting making a presentation if they have the right to under agenda item 2. Agenda item 2 is presentations by neighborhood associations and homeowners. And
Louis, I'd like to remind you that the Community Forum is a very valid neighborhood association who has been in existence for well over a year. We have contributed greatly to the neighborhood.
Right.
We attend every meeting. We show up.
We're well aware of your opinions.
If we're not going to be recognized as a valid neighborhood association, I'd like to have that in writing, please, with an explanation of why not.
Okay. Well,
the Friends of Anderson Mill West were allowed to present under this item for their fairy garden, and they are no more an association than we are.
I suggest, Catherine, that for this meeting, we do not allow it, and that we refer the question that Linda has raised to Bill and ask him to prepare a written reason for our not recognizing for this agenda item anything but the recognized neighborhood associations and HOAs.
And include for me, Bill, what it takes to become a recognized neighborhood association. In that case, Catherine, I have a public comment and I have 6 agenda items to cover. And they're not in order. I apologize for that, but they do actually fit in nicely to every item on the agenda. So if you're ready, I'm going to go.
Go ahead.
Okay. Monday night, you read a statement prepared for you that lasted for a total of 9 minutes and 36 seconds and was filled with disparaging and untruthful comments against me, Sarah Teal, and every member of the Community Forum's Neighborhood Association. You railed against the Community Forum and put forward the idea that it had no membership, which you obviously know is untrue, since there is email evidence in the public record that you personally identified a neighbor who wasn't me or Sarah as a member of the forum. You stated dislike and lack of respect for those who participate in the community forum is obviously played out in real life by who is targeted for deed enforcement and which families your enforcement contractor is choosing to harass. Not only is what you did unprofessional and unbecoming of an elected official, but it also violates your oath of office. I would like to remind you and the entire MUD board that your oath to govern fairly and equitably includes every resident in this MUD district. We are all your constituents, even when you don't like us personally or what we have to say or how we choose to legally participate in our local government. It is extremely disappointing to me that during such an unprecedented time in our world, with the impact being felt by every member of our community, you decided that Monday was the perfect time to read this disparaging statement and sneak in a vote on a questionable oversight practices. I would encourage everyone to carefully weigh what the MUD board is saying and pay close attention to what they actually do. These two things are often not aligned, as Monday night's meeting clearly demonstrates. I will close my public comments with this. What you did on Monday night has not only steeled my resolve to continue to provide much needed oversight of this MUD board, because it has obviously gone off the rails, and I take my civic responsibilities very seriously. Now, the agenda items I'm going to cover from here out are 3, 7, 10, 15, and 15B, but not in that order, and 16, but not in that order. I'm just going to read through it. It'll go faster. I wanted to take this opportunity, particularly after Monday night's accusations, to introduce myself and the Community Forum for WTCMUD1, a voluntary neighborhood association serving all residents of this municipal utility district. My name is Linda Fobb. I am a 30-year resident of Anderson Mill West. My son was 2 years old when we bought our home. He is now 32 with a wife and an adorable 2-year-old baby girl of his own. Ours was the last street in the subdivision when we moved in. There was no middle school yet or even in high school. I have a huge financial and personal investment in this neighborhood because I am one of many residents that paid for the installation of the infrastructure and everything that's come since. I have decades-long friendships with many of my neighbors and even share our cat with one of them. During my first 27 years here, I had no interaction or care in the world about the MUD, what it meant or what it did. I was raising a family. I had a very demanding career. I had no time for anything else, not unlike most of the people I meet in the neighborhood today. I became involved in this MUD business 2.5 years ago for the same reason Lewis did, deed enforcement. In the very first meeting I attended, I witnessed behavior and heard remarks that made me suspicious. That was not any kind of government that I was familiar with. I was genuinely concerned, so I came back to the next public meeting and have attended almost every one since. It wasn't long before I realized what I'd stumbled onto: duly elected officials that were not acting in the interest of the people they took an oath to serve, but rather serving their own personal interests. You're probably wondering how I knew that. Let me give you a little of my background.
Linda, can I interrupt you here? What agenda item are you talking about?
I would rather you not interrupt me, Catherine, because I lose my flow.
I understand that, but I don't know what agenda item you're talking about.
I gave you the numbers I'm speaking to. Every one of them coincides with one of those.
I am a veteran. What are you talking about? The engineer's report?
That's coming. They're not in order. I told you that.
Yeah, what I hear you doing is campaigning and really talking
no, I'm not campaigning
to agenda item number 2.
I would appreciate it if you didn't interrupt me.
Listen, Bill, I'm really concerned about this. I'm not going to set a precedent.
I began my Air Force career as a computer operator in base supply. I learned a lot about computers and even more honor, valor, and most importantly, about being a trusted steward of the people's tax dollars.
Why are we doing this?
I did a brief tour at location Area Alpha, an abandoned Russian base in the Egyptian desert, as part of the support team to rescue 52 American hostages being held in Iran during Jimmy Carter's presidency. I was awarded the Humanitarian Service Medal for my role in that mission. I spent 5 years in the Air Force, the last year at the request of the federal government. I fully understand and respect all federal laws as they relate to public trust and stewardship because I have actually lived by them. While I was in the service, I attended night classes at Park University where I earned a Bachelor of Science degree in social psychology with a minor in computer science.
What are we talking? This has nothing to do with
my core curriculum was the study of human behavior.
Okay, Bill.
After separating from the
how many
Air Force,
minutes do
I went
we
to
have
work
here?
For a large state agency where I began as a data entry operator and retired 25 years later as the director of infrastructure support. I ran a help desk that supported the hardware and software platforms used by more than 15,000 full-time employees throughout the state of Texas, including contractors and consultants on mainframe and client-server platforms. I developed short and long-range plans, managed million-dollar budgets.
Bill, why don't you mute her while we talk this
and procured the resources necessary.
Mute her.
Linda, I've temporarily interrupted you so we can talk about the time allocated to these items. You identified 6 items, which would be at the most 12 minutes. So I wanted to get that information to chairperson.
But wait a minute, she's not talking about anything. She's talking about her military career. She's talking about when she moved into the neighborhood. She's not talking about anything that's relevant to the meeting. That should have been part of her.
She's not talking about any of the items. If she's speaking on the public comment, I'm assuming she can freewheel on the public comment, but that's limited, I believe, to 2 minutes, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, she's
And
not,
If she's freewheeling, then that only can come under public comment, but she can't sandwich all of the time she has for all of the issues under a freewheeling comment. Then I think she spent more than 2 minutes.
My suggestion would be to ask her to directly comment on the agenda items rather than the general history that she's commenting on. And if she does, that you allow her time to do that. She can't relate them to an agenda item specifically that we go on.
Okay, well then let's.
I'm assuming she can hear this conversation, Bill. Is that not correct?
Correct. She can hear us. I just have her temporarily muted. So we
Okay.
can terminate.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the position going to be? That she has to either address the agenda items specifically, or she has 2 minutes under public comment, which she's already used.
Right.
Correct?
So yeah, because she's attempting to meander around a whole bunch of agenda items, but not really speak to them in an attempt to have a much longer than 2-minute public comment. What I think the best way to handle this is to have her start at agenda item 3 and have her talk about the agenda item 3, which is the district engineer. And then we'll go to the next agenda item, and then we'll go to the next agenda item. But we're not going to allow this freewheeling, the way she's trying to handle it.
I suspect what she's trying to do is to use this item to make the presentation she wanted to make as a neighborhood association.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you, Louis. I think that is what is going on here.
We've already disallowed that.
Right.
I think we need to get her back on so she can finish whatever she wants to say about the agenda items, or we're going to be here until 11 o'clock tonight.
I agree. So what I would like to do then is go back and have her again tell us what agenda items that she wants to discuss, and then make a comment out, and then she's going to make a comment specifically about that agenda item, and we're going to move through them in the order that.
And as chair, you have the right to call her out of order, and at which time Bill can mute her.
Okay, so.
Okay, so at this time, I'm going to unmute Linda so she can address what we
Can't hear you, Bill.
I'm going to, at this time, unmute Linda so she can address what we were talking about and proceed to indicate.
Okay, so Linda, what I would like you to do is, again, repeat the agenda items that you wanted to talk about, and then we will just walk through them one after another, and you can address your comments specifically to those agenda items. So I know that you wanted to do 3.
You'll have to read the agenda items. I don't have one in front of me.
Okay, and that's fine. And I am more than happy to do that. So 3, hold on, 7. So 3, 7, 10,
15, 15B, and 16.
Okay, 15.
Now my material is not in order, so I'm going to have to find it in here when you read them off.
And that's fine. That is perfectly fine. I am totally willing to be accommodated from that point. But what I really need you to do is narrow your comments specifically to the agenda item so that you don't give the appearance of a freewheeling, open-ended public comment. So number 3 is the report from the district engineer.
Let's see. I have several things that fall under that. And it involves, I'll have to give you the preface for it, otherwise it won't make sense. It involves the notable accomplishments over the past year by the community forum. And in the interest of the engineer's report, here are some of them. These are some of them. We identified a public safety concern.
She's not talking about the engineer's report. She's talking about what she did.
No, it's actually on the engineer's report. We identified a public safety concern with the missing guardrail on the Sunchase Bridge after the grand opening celebration of that structure. You remember that. The pedestrian bridge was open to the public despite it being in violation of the state of Texas adopted 2015 International Building Code, which requires that a guardrail be provided. There was no guardrail, leaving a large opening in the truss on either side of the bridge through which any small child could fall and injure themselves. I believe the bridge is on the report tonight. We were instrumental in urging the MUD board to discontinue their practice of terminating water services for residents struggling financially once the COVID-19 was determined a global pandemic. We were notified of an immune-compromised neighbor having their water disconnected for failing to pay deed violation fines after the coronavirus was declared a global pandemic. We believe our prompt action resulted in 9 families having their water services restored. This will be confirmed once my open records request specific to this event is delivered. As of today, this MUD board, through its attorney, is withholding that information. Other things are...
Is this on the engineering report?
Yes.
Is this on the...
Engineer deals with the water.
It's not.
Sure they do.
I object.
He helps all the time with missing water.
This is far afield from the engineer's report.
Well, Louis, let me tell you something. You are absolutely right. Not that it's far from the engineer's report. That actually is on the report. But I had no idea, since I asked Catherine over a week ago, that from this date forward, the community forum needs to be recognized as any other neighborhood association in this district.
Again, I object. This is not a forum.
Of course you object. But until somebody gives it to me in writing, we have substantial documented evidence to prove that we are a legitimate neighborhood association, no different than the one you participate in.
Again,
and
we're far afield from the engineer's report, and I object. And Catherine, you have the authority.
Yeah, let's, so the next agenda item is number 7, prior and open pending records requests. Costs incurred by the district and allowable costs to be charged to requesters.
Okay. We have posted hundreds of pages of important public information documents obtained through FOIA requests. Our goal has always been to provide much needed transparency for our neighbors. Most recently, all available meeting minutes from the MUD district were posted to the forum all the way back to the 1980s. These minutes bring into focus the need for community forums oversight.
Okay,
and wait, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on. It's out of order, I'm telling you. But here's another piece of that. We have examined many records that revealed impropriety and accessed formal channels to report what the records revealed. Members of the forum have dedicated hundreds of hours to uncovering the truth with regard to district revenue, how it is spent, how decisions are being made, and how systems are functioning inside of our MUD. Several concerning things were found, many of them shared on the forum Facebook page. These concerns were formalized, sent to the MUD board, and then handed off to local authorities for further investigation. Let's see, I think I have one more that falls under there. Hold on.
We're hearing a campaign speech. That's what we're hearing.
I'm not campaigning because I'm not running.
You're campaigning for the people you are running.
That's a good way of putting it.
What do you think, we're fools?
Okay, so number 10, report from the deed restriction committee.
Okay, we have helped neighbors navigate improperly levied deed violations. When neighbors reached out to members of the forum, we were able to help them determine whether letters they received from Sage Management were appropriate or not. When improper fining was involved, forum members helped neighbors determine how to respond. And Catherine, I've sent you 3 letters so far. I received another one yesterday that had grossly misinformation about what the contents of this person's deed says. It is a lie, outright, no question. Sage Management is trying to control your constituents by lying about the contents of their deed. We have educated neighbors about the rights they have according to their deeds with the Protect Your Rights seminar. The forum hosted a get-together of neighbors to share information regarding how to interpret their deed, what is legally required when building or modifying their property, and other property-related matters. We were instrumental in getting you to discontinue the practice of terminating water, even though you did it still in March, but at least not now. We've got a little bit of a relief there.
Oh my gosh.
Are you
Okay, go on to the
keeping
next
track of
one.
time? Are you keeping track of time, Catherine?
Yeah, I think it's time to move on to the next one, which is 15, which is report from customer care.
That's a good one. So future efforts being planned by forum members to provide service to the community is we are implementing a neighborhood watch program. We are actively participating in the Safe Routes to School program. We are conducting another survey, Neighbor for Neighbors. We're organizing a Get Out the Vote campaign prior to November elections. We're going to help 2 sections in Anderson Mill West modify their deeds this year by a majority vote, which is the only way deeds can legally be changed. And the best thing, we're going to develop a fund to help neighbors access adequate legal counsel when their rights are encroached upon.
15B is online postings, inaccurate and misleading sites.
Well, Catherine, the beginning of my public comments were your inaccurate, misleading, and downright false statements.
Okay.
And I was trying to explain why they were false.
Okay.
Why I know.
Okay, so then number 16 is going to be video recording of the board minutes, meetings by the district.
Again, another one of those notable accomplishments by the community forum. We started live streaming these public meetings in December of 2018, and we continue to this day. In a huge win for transparency, the MUD has also began recording and posting their public meetings. They usually come up on the MUD website days to weeks after the meeting occurs, though, which is why the forum continues to live stream each meeting. Timely information is necessary for informed constituent input.
Okay, I think we're done. Okay, so.
Catherine, one final thing before you cut me off. I would like in writing the reason why you are not recognizing the forum as an active neighborhood association in this community and what it takes to become a recognized association in this community. Are we understood?
Yes, we are. Okay, and next up is Sarah. And Sarah, you're going to be making a public comment.
Can I please remind everybody if it's not talking to please mute their phones? Because there's a lot of feedback. Thank you.
Okay, so Sarah, you're going to make a public comment.
I will be making a 2-minute public comment, a 2-minute comment on 15B, misleading district information, a 2-minute comment on 10B, district rules, and a 2-minute comment on 10F, interaction with the neighborhood association and ACC. I will let you know when I go to each new heading.
Thank you very much.
The public comment. At Monday's public board meeting, Catherine Franke had a lot to say about me personally. While I'm not going to touch on each point, I would like to address some of the points generally because I believe it is in the best interest of neighbors to know the truth so they can protect themselves. First and foremost, I tell the truth, always. Not only do I tell the truth, I back it up with documents. I do this because I do not want to tell people what to believe, but instead give them the tools and evidence to make their own decisions. Do I get it wrong sometimes because I misinterpret the data or have flawed or missing documents? Absolutely. And then I admit it and I try to correct what is wrong. If any neighbors are paying attention to what I say and publish, they know this to be a fact. This truth-telling is exactly the reason that President Franke needed to attack me last meeting. The truth is not something the board wants to be brought to light, and the best way to continue to keep it concealed is to discredit my character and put a shadow of doubt on my assertions. Anyone who knows me knows that I am honest, compassionate, and community-minded. The part where Catherine used personal insults that were not backed up by evidence to influence how listeners should perceive me and Linda is a psychological technique called gaslighting. Even the most sophisticated minds can fall prey to it if they aren't aware of how it works or how to protect themselves from it. In a nutshell, it is when someone says, listen to me, not your own instincts or thoughts, don't look at any other information, don't pay attention to the facts, I am always right and the only person who you can trust. It falls in line with the use of propaganda, which is closely linked. Propaganda is basically the idea of saying, I'm going to tell you that everything is really awesome while completely negating any bad things that even exist. Both of these techniques were used last night. Social scientists agree that knowing how these manipulation techniques function is the most powerful tool to keep from falling prey to them. In saying that, I would like to point out some other dangerous untruths that were laid out in President Franke's speech.
Okay, you're 20 seconds past your 2 minutes. Can you move on to item 15B, please?
I can. President Franke intimated last night that the current board of directors and their contractors are doing everything right, and the accusations that things are awry are unfounded. The truth here is that the open records request have provided documents that suggest otherwise. After review and presentation of concerns to this board, which were fruitless, several of these documents were delivered to other regulatory agencies within the state and county governments. These regulatory agencies found these documents to be of great enough concern to warrant opening investigations and seeking additional records from the plethora of documents that have been obtained under open records. The MUD Board has open investigations underway at both the Texas Attorney General's Office and the Williamson County Attorney's Office. At a meeting with the civil criminal chief in Williamson County, he offered assurances that any confirmed criminal activities would be forwarded to the Williamson County District Attorney for prosecution. These investigations don't mean that the board has done anything wrong per se, but they do indicate that there is enough credible evidence to warrant further investigation. Another idea that Catherine endeavored to bolster in her speech is that things were great and wonderful in our neighborhood until Linda and I came along. They were not, they were just hidden. I remember the first meeting that I attended in November of 2018 and Louise talking about a man being forced out of his home because of decisions made by the MUD. I remember thinking it was sad and wondering why he had brought it up. It felt like a power thing to me. That is by far not the last time I found that neighbors for years have been harassed by the ACC or the MUD. I have read emails from neighbors who have been forced to rip out improvements, deal with threatening letters, who have had fines assessed that required the sale of their home, and who have had their water shut off in a pandemic due to deed-related fines. And most recently, the poor guy who had the board on his back while dealing with his wife's illness, which is part of the meeting last week. A neighborhood without compassion and equity is not good in my eyes. This painting of a happy neighborhood is the propaganda I mentioned earlier. It may have seemed great on the surface in the past because no one was looking carefully. For a long time, the most vulnerable families have been
targeted. You're at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Can we move on to 10B, please?
Certainly. This last one is important because the truth could impact neighbors if they ever needed to go to court to defend their property rights. What Catherine said about the Voluntary Neighborhood Association, known as the Andersonville West Neighborhood Association membership. She asserted that I said that those who join will certainly be subject to additional oversight. That is incorrect. I claimed that those that join may be subject to additional oversight. I would actually like to reassert that claim with additional fervency tonight. At the last meeting, the board voted to amend the district rules to accept rulings from the ACC and also allow the board of this voluntary association to make binding decisions that will be enforced by the deed restriction process that includes levying fines and water shutoff to force compliance. I truly believe the entire process to be questionable in its legality, which I laid out in last night's meeting's public comment. The board's lawyer reported as much in the meeting, saying that it only might stand up in the court of law. He never positively confirmed any of it being legal and never spoke to seeing or evaluating the legality of the succession sequence that they put forward as their means for their authority. The board is banking on neighbors not putting it to the test by leveling lawsuits, something they directly addressed in the meeting if you listen carefully. But in saying that, if a neighbor joins the neighborhood association or doesn't disconnect from a membership they previously held and needs to go to court to stand up to illegal oversight, it would be a lot harder case to make. The case would be harder to make because they recognized the oversight by the ACC and the Andersonville West Neighborhood Association by being a part of that voluntary neighborhood association, both by joining and voting. In essence, saying, I agree to letting the ACC and the Voluntary Neighborhood Association Board interpret my deed.
Okay, and was it
10F?
Yeah, 10F.
I personally do not recognize the authority of the ACC or the Voluntary Neighborhood Association to interpret my deed or approve modifications to my home because I don't think their oversight is supported by law. I made an agreement with my neighbors when I moved into my home to adhere to my legally recorded deed instrument, nothing more and nothing less. If I was ever fined for anything that was not explicitly stated in that deed, I would take it to court. And I wouldn't want a membership in the Andersonville West Neighborhood Association standing in my way of winning and recouping my legal fees. So I personally would never give weight to that organization by joining. Each neighbor needs to explore the ramifications of being involved in the Voluntary Neighborhood Association for themselves. While going to the events may be fun in the short term, it may carry other consequences that are less savory, so beware. If you would like to know more about the things I spoke about here, see the documents I have alluded to in my statement, or listen to the meeting from Monday, visit the community forum for WTCMUD1 on Facebook. The meeting is live streamed audio and presented in its entirety on that page without alteration. Also remember that 2 mudboard seats will be open to be refilled in our neighborhood in November. It truly makes a difference if you take the time to make your voice heard in this most local of elections. The best way to maintain your rights is to be well informed and vote accordingly.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Okay, and we do not have anybody else online who wanted to make a comment during the public comment section of this meeting. Okay, then at this point, I am going to close the public comment section of the meeting, and I am going to move on to agenda item 2, presentations by neighborhood association. Oh, yep.
Let me interrupt for a second. Beth Jones has joined the meeting. I'm not sure if she wants to make public comment or a presentation.
She's going to make a presentation under agenda item 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so everybody who was participating under the public comment section has now been muted?
Correct.
Okay, okay. So now I'm going to agenda item 2. And Beth, the president of the Andersonville West Neighborhood Association, has a presentation to make.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I am going to read a letter that I put together, and I'm going to read that to all of you. I would like to thank the WTCMUD1, the board of directors, for accepting the AMWNA request to again admit the ACC to the deed restriction enforcement process. As the documents provided to the board show, Bill Milburn properly recorded in Williamson County the ceding of the authority of the ACC to appoint members and be a continuously functioning committee. At the end of the ACC has contributed to the character of the AMW since the early 1990s. The decision of Cedar Park to not require permit buildings in the MUD means that the ACC is the only entity that can regulate improvements in the AMW. The AMWNA has a long history of supporting the community by engaging in activities that bring us all together. The Anderson Mill West Park, across from Cypress Elementary, is an example of the dedication our organization had brought to the community. The AMWNA took over the 4th of July parade at the request of the neighborhood church more than a decade ago. Kite festivals, Easter egg hunts, pumpkin carving festivals, along with the Light Up in the Park event in November, are just some of the events that the AMWNA has organized to enhance our community. It's unfortunate, however, that a small but very local group known as the Community Forum for the WTCMUD1, or Linda Fobb and Sarah Teal, continues to attack the AMWNA. It's important to understand that while this attack appears to be limited to the attack on the AMW neighborhood, in truth, it's an attack on all of us. It's an attack on Valente Hills. It's an attack on Hunters Glen. It's an attack on Lakeline Oaks. It's an attack on the entire district, regardless of which neighborhood or section that you live in. As a board president, Catherine Franke mentioned in her statement at Monday night's meeting, the community forum has used open records as a form of harassment, costing the district over $100,000 in taxpayers' funds. Last year, Linda Fobb and Sarah Teal made open record requests again against the AMWNA, forcing the NA to spend over $200,000 in attorney fees. 2,000. 2,000. Sorry, you got to look at your paper. Ultimately, the Attorney General's determined the AMWNA was not an organization subject to the open records laws. This morning, in another attempt to punish the AMWNA, Linda Fobb and Sarah Teal made a new open records request. The status of the AMWNA has not changed. The NA, like HOAs in the district, are not subject to open records requests as confirmed by the district attorney general. As a community, it's time that we unite against the continued attacks by Linda Fobb and Sarah Teal. We need to unite against Linda Fobb and her puppet Sarah Teal and David Flores. If a candidate endorsed by the community forum is elected to the board next fall, that person will start attacking Valente Hills, Hunters Glen, and LLO from the WTCMUD1 board. All of us in the community are appreciative of the support we receive from the WTCMUD1. It makes our community better. It impacts our lives in a positive way. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go to agenda item 3, which is report for.
Catherine, can I interrupt, please?
Sure.
Could we please go to agenda items 22 and 23 because they require a public hearing?
Oh, sure.
Take care of that before some of the members of the public might want to leave the meeting.
Okay. So agenda item 23. Do I need to read something for this?
Well, 22 and 23 go together.
Right.
Let me give you an overview real quick for the people in attendance who might want to speak at the public hearing. Drought contingency plan for the district has two requirements. First, we need to review it every 5 years, and 5 years is this year. second is, under our contract with the city of Cedar Park, our wholesale water contract, we have to be at least as stringent as the city of Cedar Park in our drought contingency plan. So even though we're not in a drought right now, what we've done is we reviewed the current city of Cedar Park drought plan and reviewed our plan for any improvements. In fact, the red line draft, although it looks fairly complicated, most of those are formatting typos. There's very few substantial changes. For example, exempt watering now includes vegetable gardens at a house, which before it was nurseries and so forth. In stage 3, the goal is to reduce water consumption by 20% instead of just 10% like it used to be. Other than that, there aren't very significant changes in the draft, but the process is the district has to open a public hearing whereby you, Catherine, as president, would declare the public hearing drought plan open. Then once those comments are completed, you would close the hearing, and then we would proceed to address the board on voting on the plan. So given that, what I would suggest is that I'll go ahead and unmute all the persons in attendance so that they can let you know if they want to participate after you open the public hearing.
And Bill, I think we should point out that the draft water contingency emergency plan was sent out to everybody. So everybody's got the marked up draft, right?
Correct. It's part of the invite. It's an attachment to the invite under item 23. It's labeled 23.
Right.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so I am going to open the public hearing on the drought contingency plan. Linda, Sarah, or Hanoi, or Beth, did one of you want to make a comment about the drought contingency plan?
No, I don't. Thank you, Catherine.
Okay. Sarah, did you want to make a comment? Okay. Hanoi or Beth, did you want to make a comment?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing on our drought contingency plan. And now we're going to move to agenda item 23, where we're going to discuss the contingency plan. So Bill, if I'm understanding, basically all we've done is realign our plan to be with Cedar Park. And it sounds like Cedar Park made a couple of adjustments where they wanted to increase the amount of water savings in a stage 2 or a stage 3 drought.
Correct. And it was in stage 3.
Okay.
And they did carve out the exception I mentioned for the vegetable gardens at the house. So very minor changes. In the attachment that you got for the agenda packet, the first page is an order. First 2 pages are an order. And then the drought contingency plan itself is Exhibit A. So what we'd be looking for is a motion to approve the order as presented.
What did it say about ponds? Is my koi pond getting an exception like gardens?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, okay.
Nope.
Well, it's a good thing I don't have expensive fish. I just have the 15-cent goldfish. Okay, so does somebody want to make a motion to accept the new drought contingency plan?
I will.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Okay, so let's do this again. Let's go through and vote. Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay. Okay, so let me find my agenda back again. Okay, so we're going to now move to agenda item 3, which is the report from the engineers. And is Herb here I don't think I've heard him online yet.
He's connected. Herb, can you hear us? Herb? He may have stepped away for a minute, but he is connected.
Okay.
Herb, can you hear us? Herb, Mr. Edmondson. I'm not sure where he must have stepped away.
He usually has audio issues, so give him just a minute, I would say.
Herb, are you on the line, Herb?
Now, hold on. Let me see. Is he on my list for? Well, was he just on the line, or was? Oh, I see him.
Yeah, he's connected, but he may not be. He may not be in the room at the time.
Okay.
I'm calling him.
Christy's gonna call him.
Okay.
He's having troubles getting through, so stand by. He can hear us, but he can't speak, so hold on.
Okay.
If you want to move on, I'll work with him on getting him.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so agenda item 4, report from the district landscape contractor. Do we have anybody from Sunscapes on the line?
I don't see anybody connected.
Okay, I'll move on to agenda item 5, report on security patrols, increase hours, etc. Do we have any of the constables on the line?
No.
Okay. Okay, so we're now going to move to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I had my speaker off. Regarding the constable, the deputy constables, I got an email from Deputy Constable Kevin Thomas, and all he really had to say was there have been some cars that have been unlocked, that have been gone through, and stuff has been stolen from sections 1, 2, and 3, possibly others, but I'm not sure. And so his request is for everybody to lock their car doors, lock their front doors and back doors. And my idea, which I told my neighbors recently, was to leave your front lights and back lights on in your house. So that's all.
Really? Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I am going to continue moving forward with the agenda.
Catherine, it does look like Herb is reconnected. Herb, can you hear us now?
Okay.
He reconnected, but Herb, can you hear us? Okay, all right.
Okay. I am going to move into agenda item 6, report from the district manager.
All right,
Okay.
I am going to share my screen.
Thank you. I love it when people share their screens.
Let me know when you guys can see it.
I can see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody else good?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can see it. Working really well.
It's roughly page 10 in the entire packet, but it is labeled as page 8 if you want to come down to the executive summary. So water distribution system, we are at 90% collected, and the valve and hydrant survey is currently under review with Herb's office. We're just getting that data compiled together and going over everything, and we should hopefully have an update for you guys at the next meeting. And then as far as collection system, the televising reports, we do have them. We have gone through them all already and identified basically the certain levels. So out of all of WTC, your levels ranged as far as, I don't know what you want to call them. You have level 3, level 4, and a level 5, and the levels are based off of how many feet they are below the ground where they find either a sag in the line or sediment built up on the wall or something in the pipe that's not supposed to be there. And the report has these fun pictures on it. So we're going through that right now with Herb as well, and we should also have another update at the next meeting. And then as far as parks and trails go, the rock signs at the various parks have been pressure washed. I'm not sure if many of you noticed those, but they are there. There are pictures included in the packet. I believe we covered Hatch, London, Anderson Mill, and one other. I can't remember exactly which one, but there should be pictures down below. And then the deck at Astor Pass Pond has been completely pressure washed. I'm sure some of you may have noticed. We are going to seal that up soon. once we get some nice dry weather, several days of it, so that way it's a one quick process and it can all be done quite fairly quick. And
Pretty sure.
then, sorry. Oh, Herb, you're here.
I think now I'm on my.
You are. We can hear you.
I tell you what, these are neat meetings, but technology's killing me.
Yeah, well, you have to wait your turn now. Okay, keep going, Mackenzie.
Okay. We placed caution tape on all of the playscapes in accordance with the closings of the parks due to COVID-19, and I do believe we have also now covered all of the little libraries. The lights at the tennis courts have been temporarily shut off due to the people climbing over the fence and getting in them. We didn't want anybody to get stuck inside of them if the door for some reason did not open from the inside, and didn't want anybody else to get hurt, or didn't want anybody to feel the need to try to climb over and get hurt doing so. So hopefully that deters. We, again, only shut them off at the tennis courts, so all of the other lights in both Anderson Mill West and Lakeline Oaks are on. Sunscape has begun mulching in the parks. Some of you may have noticed that a lot of the new trees have mulch around them, and they're doing their normal mulching. And then we also placed the tennis nets in storage for now, just so we don't have any damage to those from kids climbing on them or just normal things happening. The tetherball at Hatch Pond needs to be replaced. We're going to pursue one next month or whenever the parks open again. So this is just to note that it does need to be replaced, but obviously with the parks closed, there's no point in replacing it at this time. And then we have also temporarily revised the janitorial services, since there are only your maintenance tech at the Lakeline Oaks office and no one at Anderson Mill West bathrooms. They do come in once a month. They do come next Monday, I believe, and then they'll come again in a month, as long as the pandemic still stands in place and we do have to keep following these safety precautions. The infrastructure committee, so we did have a resident who called in and requested a variance to be put in his, basically the backside of his property in the easement. And at the infrastructure committee, we had some deliberation about this. It really ultimately decided against it for the sole reason that if you do this once, it could cause damage in the future to drainage and things like that. And then if we let one person do it, we may have others do it. And also just the whole situation, it just doesn't seem right. And we, per Lewis, reached out to Julie Potts with the HOA, and they had not heard from this resident. She was completely unaware that they were requesting this, but also agreed with our committee's concerns, and also wanted to note that a concern of theirs was that the pool would also cause drainage issues in the future. And herself had experienced a drainage issue due to a neighbor across an easement of her putting in some sort of activity in their backyard. She didn't say if it was a pool, but she did say that it caused her yard to have drainage issues. So I just got that email from her yesterday. Didn't have time to get it back to the infrastructure committee, but Lewis and Art, do you guys want to make any comments on that, or are we still okay with our decision to present it to the board as we would not want to do this?
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. Art?
You're on mute, Art. Art, you're on mute.
Sorry. I was trying to unmute, and with this display, it didn't give me that. Yes, I agree with what you just said.
Okay.
I don't want to start going down that road.
Okay, I will get an email back out to the manager. As long as the rest of the board agrees, I do think that we wanted to have board approval on this before we reached back out to the residents. So Catherine, Jana, and Chris, are you guys okay with the decision of the infrastructure committee?
Well, okay, are we being asked to formally make a motion to say no? What's going on here? Bill, can you give me some guidance here?
Well, I don't think we need a motion, but there were some instances in the past where we've gotten requests to vacate easements. And I believe what we do is we go through a process of determining if the district needs the easement, if we have lines in it or we plan to have lines in it. The drainage issue is kind of a separate issue from that. So the board certainly can decide they don't want to entertain, when they say variance, they really would have to get a vacation of the easement, which is a formal document saying that we give up the easement. They also have to go to the other utility providers and in that process. And so this resident doesn't seem to have done any of that or presented it in that form. So I would say that we just have the manager report back that the board's not going to entertain that request. I don't think we do.
Okay, because that was sort of where I was going. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't just about us. There's a whole bunch of other utilities that are probably going into that easement, and they're also going to have to sign off on it.
Well, let me also, this is Louis, let me also add that that property is right on the edge of the very steep slope that goes down to the drainage channel that runs from and Loop. And one of our big concerns was that we might wind up destabilizing that slope because they were proposing to build that pool within the easement, which is right against that slope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree that that could be a problem moving forward. Okay.
Alrighty. And then a few things I did want to touch on just because these came up after I sent the packet in. Lewis had reported to us that there is a fungus growing on a tree in Madeline Loop, and he was nice enough to give me a picture of it. I did send it over to Scott, and they had someone come out and look at it. They do believe that it is either sun scald or another issue growing on the tree. It has a weird fungus growing on it. He did say that the fungus that is growing on it would only grow on damaged tissue. They would keep an eye on the tree. They don't see that it is going to fully kill the tree. They think that the fungus is growing on the part of the tree that got damaged a bit ago, and that it's just basically now a part of the tree. But it will not compromise the entire tree, and they will keep an eye on it going forward. The birdhouse at Madeline Loop, Lewis also let us know, needed to be resupported on top of the pole. Your maintenance tech took care of that. And then there was a broken beam on the pergola also at Madeline Loop, and that has been replaced. We are also going to get some stain so it matches, because it's a pretty brand new piece of wood, so it stands out. And then other than that, that is all I had to report, unless you guys have any questions.
Nope, I don't think so. So now what we'll do is we'll jump back to agenda item 3. And so Herb, on your iPhone.
All right, how about now?
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, so we'll get it going. All right, at the infrastructure committee, was reported, and Christy and I kind of worked both on this. The water accountability is at 90% this month. That was pretty much all there. There's no action required on any of that. As far as the bond issue goes, the review of that application, we're doing the review of the water valve and the fire hydrants survey. We've updated the map for that, including the GPS coordinates. Still trying to all that data for the items that were found that need to be repaired. On the Hatch lift station came in for upgrades and maintenance. I met with Infomark out there today on site, went through that. We'll start putting some pen to paper and see what's going to be involved for those upgrades and try to identify those down a little better. Right now, and I'll be getting with, we covered the dry pit. Well, that's the Hatch lift station. No real recommendations associated with that. For the cleaning and inspection of sanitary sewer, we've gotten the evaluations. We've gone through that. I've had staff forward me a list of items. I need to review that. And then I'll be scheduling a meeting with Infomark to review their items that they've identified as well as ours, and try to, again, compile that list of maintenance items that'll need to be addressed in the future. Let's see, under the Badger meter, item number 4, the Badger meter pilot program. Infomark, really where that's at is the agreement was finalized, and Infomark is reviewing some budget information, and we'll be getting back with that item at this time. Once that's done, this item really comes off the infrastructure. It just becomes an operational item at that point.
Herb, if I could interrupt for a second. The agreement has agreement with Badger for the software has been fully executed. So that's complete.
Okay. Well, then with that being all confirmed up, that'll go under operations, so it'll come off of the infrastructure in the future. On the streetlight mapping, we've gotten the streetlight data from Infomark. We've updated the maps. Those maps are currently under review for accuracy. I've looked at that. I've dropped some copies off for the infrastructure committee. Christy, Robert got y'all's copy today. And just if you would take a look. Nobody's perfect. If there's anything we need to clean up, I'd like to get that cleaned up before we publish it as finalized. On page 2, as far as the Sunchase drainage, there is a little bit of some issues we've run into with the rock down there. We need to get some sod or get some grasses established. There's not a very thick layer of soils down there, Lewis. So that's going to be worked on. On the footbridge, there's a couple of things. One, we've got the vendor has not responded back to West Stark yet in regards to the mild steel versus Cordison steel on those rails. And then we're also looking at the possibility, it's not required, but a possibility of adding some rails just on the Sunchase Park side of the bridge. It's the footbridge itself. It could just, one, address any concern somebody may have. Looking at the rules, we've pretty well covered all of that with what's there in place currently. The rest of these projects, the Phase 5 sidewalk maintenance project and some of the sidewalk connections at Sunchase and Madeline Loop Pond, those are just kind of on hold right now until we get through all this virus stuff and let the CDC kind of release everything back to work, and then we can do full bore. Most of the contractors are still working, but their focus currently is more on the more priority and emergency type situations right now. So picking up new small projects just isn't going on right now.
So even if we wanted to do something, they're not there.
It's going to be real. I'm running into difficulty getting that done.
Okay.
If again, like I said, if it's a major deal, or not, it's a major, we should really get done. I could probably push enough to get it addressed. But if there's really no emergency behind it, they're fit in other places right now. And then the last item was the invoicing was reviewed and approved by the committee. So for any questions, I'll be happy to address them.
I have a question. Hey, when you were over at Hatch Pond and the lift station, how did it look as far as the landscaping over there? Was it overgrown? Did it look okay?
The grasses were a little high in there. Thinking about it, it wasn't short, I know that, but it wasn't knee high either.
Okay, because I wasn't sure what the date was where they actually moved the lift station areas.
Okay, I'm not really tracking them, though I did get a message today that they were supposed to have been out there working on the ponds. I can follow up if you'd like.
I think Mackenzie was, but if she's not, that would be good.
Okay, Mackenzie, I'm happy to call them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, I'll get that done.
Okay, who's got a bird?
I'm outside.
Okay.
I can't tell.
Okay.
On.
I thought maybe somebody had a parrot, but obviously not. Okay. Okay, so we've already had the manager's report. Yeah, it's time to do the financials, right? And you're going to share your screen?
Yes, I will. This is Michael Luke from Infomark, and it's been a while since I've been at your board meetings, but I am just thrilled to be back, and particularly because I'll be doing the financials instead of taking the minutes. And let's face it, this is more my area of expertise. All right, so let's share that. Let's see, make sure I know I do this correctly. Share my screen. And I want to share. Oh, well, it's going to be cranky, isn't it? Let me see if I had the financials open and now it won't find them. That's aggravating. Let me do that and then pull. Let's see if I open it, if it pops open. Open a different copy of it.
Well, you're sharing your screen, so you're halfway there.
Yes, I know how to do that. It's just weird. It didn't. Oh, here we go. So it is showing the financials. Outstanding. And I apologize. I'm not a Zoom expert. So on the financials,
Okay, we're still looking at your file explorer.
Oh, poo. Because I'm showing.
Do you have more than one screen?
No, actually not.
Up there. Okay.
Let me try to share it again.
Okay.
There we go. See, now it showed up. Now do you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Good job. Yes.
Thank you, Catherine. All right, so let's move to page 3, the tax collection report. And you are at 95.65% collected, which is about 1.5% behind your rate last year, but that's not very concerning yet. No reason to expect that you won't hit the 99+% collected that we budgeted and that you always do hit. Moving on to page 4, let's see if I can make that better to see. I forget how to move that over. Okay, so in terms of the revenues for the month, you were just about 2,000 ahead of budget. But for the year, you're 104,000 ahead of budget. The 3/4 of that or more is your water, sewer, water service fees, almost 79,000 ahead of budget. And your property tax is a little bit ahead of budget. Despite the fact that you're behind on your collection percentage, you're still ahead of budget on your actual collections. And that's because we're very conservative when we do the revenue projection for the property taxes. So no reason to believe that you'll end up behind budget on that for the year. In terms of expenditures for the year, you're about 26,000 under budget for the year for regular expenses. And then running a bit over on the parks. As we scroll through, most of the parks are over by a little bit. The total across all the parks is that you're over budget by 14,000. And then as we get to the actual bottom line, the actual expenses, you're about 183, almost 184,000 under budget, less than budget, which is good on expenses. Most of that's because the water system maintenance and the lift station maintenance, the stormwater system maintenance, all of the big Inframark items particularly are running below budget. And so that puts you at about 288,000 better than budget on bottom line. So, and then we've got our pre-chart showing the same thing in a month by month pattern. You can see most of the months are pretty close to budget in terms of revenue. Most months in terms of expenditures are below budget.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So do you have information regarding why the parks is higher than usual? How we're over on parks?
I'd have to go back and look. It's it's mostly regular upkeep, and I need to see what if there's any particular line items that are more maintenance related. I might need to reclassify some of them to some more capital items, but based on what I looked at, as I was coding them, they look like the regular stuff that goes through. It's just more regular maintenance at them than we budgeted. But I will review that and get back to you on what's causing that, because it's across almost all of the districts. I mean, almost all of the parks, or at least a little bit over.
So you're talking about things like, the emptying the trash cans, that kind of maintenance, the cleaning of the restrooms. Is that the kind of maintenance that you're talking about?
Let me go back and look. Yes, it's like the regular core maintenance that we're doing. For example, Lakeline Oaks is over 6,000, primarily because of some work that was done at the building itself.
Probably the restrooms where we had to fix the sink that was
right.
not
There were two
built.
big items, I think, like that.
The water heater, the air conditioner, and the sink outside.
Yep. Okay.
Those are the two I'm recalling. Yes, those are the ones I'm recalling. And
Yeah.
so, and then the same thing on Anderson Mall Park, it's over by 5,000. I think there was one big ticket item there. So otherwise, they're not particularly, well, these are small budget items. So any variance is, as a percentage wise, relatively large. But,
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
well, just check on those and let us know if you see anything that looks different. And
absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. So on page 7, this is the tracking of the cap, and it's showing that at this point, Inframark owes 18,000 plus to WTC1 if the fiscal year ended in March. It doesn't, so but that's where we're at thus far. I'm pretty sure there are some bigger items that are coming along the way that might true that up a bit, but Christy will be able to address that. But that's where we're at right now through March.
Okay.
Moving on, the balance sheet, this has the year-to-year comparison. You see some big changes in that we switched which bank accounts that we use, so that's a large variance. You see a large variance in taxable GOP. You just have more funds at this time of the year than you did last year that are invested in taxable. So, there's generally not much on a balance sheet that's worth talking about, but I thought I would kind of walk through this with you and see if there was anything that I really wanted to mention, and I don't. All right, so debt service balance sheet, even less to talk about on that. All right, so the cash report showing where you're at projected after the checks that are and bills and invoices that are for approval this meeting, all the transfers, showing that across all funds you'll have almost 4 million, 3.3 of that in the general operating fund. Our redacted investment report showing the funds that you have in your CD that matures in December. And by the way, this one's worth actually pointing out. Interest rates have cratered as a result of the economic dislocation as a result of the coronavirus crisis. And interest rates now, the highest that you would be seeing quoted is about 0.43, and most banks will be significantly under that. So you are going to significantly outperform any alternatives that you have at that 1.74%. When it renews, hopefully interest rates will have rebounded, but I would not expect that in 3 months' time they will have done so. But let's cross our fingers and that we can get a good renewal rate. But otherwise, we'll try to find the best investment that we can for you with those funds.
Okay, so go back to the previous page. Okay, so the interest rate for the Austin Capital Bank.
Yeah, that's not 74%. That's a typo. Okay. I just noticed that here too. I believe that was 0.74.
Okay.
So,
Well, that makes.
I missed a 0 or something. Anyway, I'll go back and double check that.
Okay.
But I don't have that bank statement in front of me, so I can't tell you. But that money market, that's a very good rate, but it won't stay there. It will be coming down. You can expect it to come down to sub 4, maybe down to 0.25. It depends on what kind of weighting they have in terms of the investments that they have that support the rate that they're offering. So we'll continue to update that every month. You'll see that number probably move next month.
Okay.
All right, moving on, cash balance trend. Just worth noting about this is that this is what the MUD looks like. The blue line showing that you receive your taxes in December and January, the bulk of them by January, and then you live off of that the rest of the year. And in December of last year, before the tax monies came in, you were just above the black line of the reserve that you wanted. So the district worked exactly the way that you intended it to. You received your funds, you managed them throughout the year, and you still had a strong reserve before the next year's tax money came in. The green line just shows that's how debt service works. The money comes in December and January, you make some bond payments, it dips down, and then draws back up. So, and then of course the orange is capital projects and you don't have anything, so that's just zeroed. This is a report that you all requested, and this shows, this first section here shows the $2,024,000. That's when we did the budget last year, and based on what you ended the fiscal year at, the audited number, that you thought you would end this year with a reserve of a little over $2 million. Based on the fact that you're running better than budget by 200 and some thousand, the right side, the actuals now projects based on the rest of the year, assuming that the rest of the year runs at budget and realizing the gains that you've gained thus far by running under budget, that you would end this fiscal year at 2.2 million. So, your fiscal responsibility, what's this showing is that against your budget projection, right now, it looks like you're going to do 200,000 better than you projected, which would indicate to a disinterested, neutral observer that you're doing a good job managing your finances. Next page, 15, is the checks for approval this meeting. And this is the page where I've got you guys looking in front of it. I guess maybe you guys don't see that. There we go. I can now actually see the totals. The operating account has $286,298.78 in checks and automatic drafts since the last meeting. The manager's account's at $3,478.62. And then the old Bancorp account still has some ACHs running through it, which I'll get cleared out in the next month or so. And we'll be able to close that account. We hadn't closed it quite yet because we had to wait 6 months for all of the checks that could clear to clear out of it. There are still checks that haven't cleared, but once we're past that 6-month barrier, I can go ahead and write those off and close that account and get all those ACHs set so that they go out of the operating account that we're presently using. That puts the grand total for approval at $295,044.66. And there are no supplemental checks. Good job, everybody. Page 16 here is the tax transfer for the month. Every month, the tax monies goes into the tax account, and then we split it out based on the rate order, the order levying taxes. And so that's what this shows. This next page, this is the operating transfer. This is to move funds from tax pool into the checking account at Bancorp so that it covers all the checks so that we don't bounce any, which I think would be prudent. And then this transfer is similar, except now it's moving funds into the manager's account so that we have that funded up to about $15,000 that we'd like to keep in there for potential emergencies where we have the ability to disperse funds as needed. Page 19, continuing to track the open records requests, another 6,000 plus in March. So total expenditures for this fiscal year of 69,000 before in the Infomark internal costs. So that brings us to 79, and grand total thus far across the several fiscal years of almost $200,000. So that's very impressive that we've been able to comply with that much requests. We are happy to bring every bit of information to the public that they have the right to see. The next page here is your quarterly investment report. This is a requirement under the PFIA, the Public Funds Investment Act, that MUDs track and then report on a quarterly basis all of their investments. And so this shows that across the quarter, you've gained $13,903.52 in interest. I mentioned that because the next quarter is not going to be quite as good with interest rates plummeting. Certainly the tax pool numbers will be down significantly. Your money market will be good. So that, the CD will be good. So you'll keep that rate and its interest. And that actually shows 0 for that quarter because it's not showing the accrual. So it shows the actual gain yet. That'll actualized when it in fact when it matures. But the value change shows the quarterly interest gain on that of $482.85. Okay. And then we have several pages tracking the not to exceed amounts, the detention ponds, the AMI meter upgrades, the drip irrigation systems, the footbridge at Sunchase Park, and the park's beautification. And that is everything I have. Did anyone have any questions? Want to ask me or go back to another page before I close it?
Yeah, this is Luis. I'm going to have to sign that investment report, and we can work something out with Mackenzie and take it to the office, and I'll go by and sign it.
Thank you, Luis. We'll be happy to work with whatever works for you.
Don't we have to motion to approve the check register?
Yes, we need to do we need to do a motion to approve the check register, and then we're going to need to have
Michael, can you put that up again so I can read it?
Oh, hey, we also need to have a few signatures on a few things. Michael, will you bring that up regarding the bank things that we have up there at the office? That he's a third signature.
So Jana, what I was thinking on that, since Lewis is the investment officer, I can make arrangements with Lewis to sign the investment report as well as the third signature on the checks tomorrow.
I have to go in there too, Christy, because I didn't sign my check. Did you all I think it was $36 that we had to take out. I put a little note on my check.
Just let me know, Art, and I can go up and sign after you guys do for the third signature.
There's a little note on there to remove $36 on the per diem. I left it there on the desk.
Okay. We'll
Anyway,
take a look.
I'll motion to approve $295 and $295,044.66.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we'll walk through the vote. Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
I vote yes too. Okay.
Catherine?
Yes.
We need a separate motion on the investment, quarterly investment report to approve that.
Oh, okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the quarterly investment report. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Excuse me, we're talking about the investment report that I signed as the investment officer. Is that the report we're talking about?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's walk through the vote. Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay.
Hey, Catherine?
Yes.
Interrupt for a second. Christy, have you already covered the drinking water quality report? Or anybody?
I'm going to say no.
Well,
we went through the executive summary. We didn't go through the full report.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so Christy, you want to handle the rest of the report then?
Yeah, Mackenzie, can you share your screen and bring up the rest of the report, please? Stand by. Mackenzie, you want to go through this or do you want me to go through it?
I can.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So total accounts billed were at 1927. Total
We can't hear you very well.
Oh, that's weird. Hold on. Switch my microphone.
You sound like a robot.
I'll go through it and you can just scroll. So we've got total revenue for the month and consumption, 9.6 million. And our average was 5,016. As far as water consumption on the residential side, 4,424, which is very close to last year at this time. So total receivables for the month, 197,613. And there's your chart. And your collections report, obviously right now we're not doing, we have a penalty hold. So we did mail out 121 delinquent letters. And we had 79 delinquent tags. And obviously no disconnects for non-payment. And our water accountability is still holding at 90%. We like to be 90% and above, but we like to hover around the 93, 95%. So we're going to work on that and see what's going on. And then we have a CCR, I think that Bill was talking about. This is your annual consumer confidence report. I'm not sure, I think it was one of the supplementals in the packet that came out yesterday. I don't know if we can find that.
It's a supplemental doc.
I can probably bring it up on my screen. Stand by. Let's see. Is it?
It's after the minutes, after the calendar, at the very end of the report.
Stand by.
I had it as a separate document that Bill sent out. It's not behind the calendars as far as I can tell.
Oh, sorry, I meant online. Yeah, the one that's posted has it between the calendar and the engineering report.
Christy, I have it if you want me to pull it up.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Thank you.
Okay, let me reshare my screen. There we go.
All right, so basically what this is a TCQ requirement that we send out a drinking water quality report every year. So it's got your basic required language in it. Office hours, if you go to the second page, Mackenzie. And obviously, since we don't have a wastewater or a water treatment plant, we buy the water from the city of Cedar Park. We work with them on the residuals. And everything here, as you can see, in compliance, everything is yes, there's no issues. So once we send this out, what we can do, and I think we talked about this a couple of meetings ago, is that we do not have to do like we did in the old days where we printed copies. It was an expense to you guys for printing those and inserting them in all the bills. We'll have a link on our website to where if anybody needs to get a copy of it or wants to see a copy of it, they can go to that link and receive a copy.
Okay, so when we say your website, you're talking about the WTCMUD1 website, correct?
Your website.
Okay,
yes, the
okay.
WTCMUD1.
Now, if we ever had any testing that was out of compliance, is that would that indicate a problem from Cedar Park or a problem in delivery of the infrastructure so that the water was being contaminated as a result of the infrastructure?
So the lead and copper we do in-house, so that's within your distribution system, and you can see there, that's all within your distribution system. And we also do 7 tests per week in the system itself, which we check for chlorine and monochlorines. So you can see here that all of that is basically water coming from City of Cedar Park, but the last 2, the lead and copper, that is samples that we do in-house.
Okay.
Everything else comes from Cedar Park.
Okay.
The chlorine residuals, you don't take that yourself within our distribution system?
We do, yes.
So if you take that at the limits of our system, then it's really particular to our system in terms of the possibility of water being constrained and losing residual chlorine in the course of being distributed. So that really is a meaningful number for what we have within our experience after it arrives to us from Cedar Park.
Exactly, and we check that every day, 7 days a week. We check the chlorine residual, and that's also why we do the flushing in the system as well. So we have a lot of dead-end mains. So to keep that water flowing and keep it fresh and keep the chlorine residual where it needs to be above a 0.5 is where it has to be. That's part of our operations that we do every day to make sure you're in compliance.
Now, when we fail to maintain that, was it minimum 0.5, that's when the boil water notices come out?
That would be correct.
Okay. Okay.
Very good, Catherine.
Okay.
With your approval, we'll go ahead and get this out and put a link on the website.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Okay, so have we covered everything from the district managers from a report point of view? Did we get everything out that needed to be discussed? All the addendums, Bill?
He's on mute.
I think we covered everything.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to move to agenda item 7, prior and pending open records requests. And I want to say that there was at some point there was agenda item 7, there was something was put out.
We have a document.
Yeah, we have a document, and it's like, I need to figure out how to rotate it. There we go. Okay, so this is right now is the list of open records requests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had 5. We've had 5. Go ahead, Louis.
It's the pending open records request.
Right. So we've had 5 since March 16th, and we have 5 that are just pending in terms of working our response.
Catherine, when this report was done on the 13th, we had 8 pending requests, and today we received 2 additional requests. We have now 10 pending requests. When you go to the last sheet of that document, we report the completed open requests since the last report, because the last report was on March 20, and then the stay-at-home order was enacted shortly after that, and everything got shut down. We don't have any completed since March 20 on that. So this is essentially, the first sheet is everything we have except for the 2 we received today.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And question, would I be correct in assuming that all of these requests come from either Linda Fabre or from her organization?
Well, Louis, we have a code we apply, and so the code, we put the initials of the requester. So the first one you can see in the code, the initials LF. And so in this case, all of the pending requests are from Ms. Fabre.
Okay, so we don't have anyone else in the community submitting open records requests.
Well, we have other people that have. We don't have any pending requests from them.
I see. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Anything else to discuss about on this agenda item?
No.
Okay. Okay, agenda item number 8, the district rate order.
We don't have anything specific proposed. We may want to come back and revisit this after we look at 20A. 20A is the CPI increase by Waste Management. So their rates are going up again. And the solid waste pickup and recycling is essentially embedded in your water base. So we're probably going to need to review that at some point, maybe not today, but I don't have anything specific on the rate order.
Okay. Okay, agenda item number 9, report from the Park Subcommittee. And I'm trying to think, Mackenzie, is there anything outstanding that we needed to bring to the board?
I think she already discussed it, but I do want to say something real quick.
Sure.
Remember when we were talking about 4 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, before we had the tape that was, closing off the playscapes and the swing sets and all that. We ran out of tape, and so my next suggestion was to, as soon as we got new tape, was to close off the little libraries. We did have a request from a resident near Mimosa that wanted to do, to add like food items, like canned items or whatever. And so, as we spoke on the phone, we talked about it and we decided that was not a good idea, due to whoever we've talked to as far as Hill Country Community Ministries and all that. Not a good idea to share food items because it's just not a good idea. So I just wanted to add that. And so now there is tape because it came in, and I think our parks guy, I think he put it on about a week and a half ago.
So basically all of the little libraries have also been taped off. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and when they're open, I will we can clear them out and sanitize them and get them going again.
Okay. Okay, report from the Deed Restriction Committee. Okay, agenda item 10, report from the Deed Restriction Committee. And during this, under this agenda item, I'd like to bring Jimmy and Diana to the forefront because we're going to talk about, I wanted to talk about the process of the fines and abeyance right now. Because right now at the last board meeting, we talked about we're not going to disconnect water during the pandemic, and we're not going to assess any fines. And we talked about not any fees, and we're not going to assess fines, but we never really discussed the nitty-gritty details about what that was going to be. And so Jana and I, along with,
You
yes,
have a doc.
Yes.
Let's put the document up on the screen.
yes. Who's got the document handy?
Bill has it.
I'll try to put it up. Hold on.
Was it the one from Sage that we were?
Right, it's a revised supplement for agenda item 10.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So what this, and the reason I wanted to bring this up is we felt that we needed to really nail down the process because we needed to then put this process on the website so everybody understood what was happening.
Can you see it now?
Yes, we can all see it. So the process that we've come up with is that code enforcement will continue for day and night violations throughout the pandemic period. New violations will be addressed through friendly notices throughout the pandemic period. Uncorrected chronic violations already in protocol will continue to receive their notifications. After April 1st, SAGE will keep records of ongoing violations at the fine stage and present at the subcommittee level for discussion. New fines accrued will be on hold and not posted to the water account until a time is determined by the board. All fines previously posted to water accounts will be placed in abeyance until the until the board directs otherwise. Overnight tours to continue to ensure that streets remain accessible to emergency vehicles. And violations in pre-fine stage will stay at pre-fine stage. Hold on, I lost my, through the period. And then I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I think our thought was to if we can agree on this, we should post it on the website so that people will know what we're dealing with through this period.
Right, and right.
Definitely post it on the website if everybody is in agreement.
Okay, and just for curiosity, I don't think, do we need to have the two colors? I think it's just all in one.
That was when we were drafting it. I sent you the notes.
Okay.
And as we were working and cleaning it up, those were the additions so that you all could review it.
Got it. Okay, so that was just, this is sort of like a red line is what you're saying then.
So I think we can look at this as a recommendation from the deed restriction committee.
Yes.
Bill,
yes.
Bill, did I interrupt?
Yeah, Catherine, Lewis, I just had one comment. Okay, my comment is that none of this affects litigation in progress or litigation against certain parties approved by the board. This is just the process that SAGE follows in the finding and placing the fines on bills, correct?
Right, right.
Does that mean we should add another point to that, another bullet point to that effect?
It'd probably be a good idea to have a final bullet point that says that litigation regarding deed restriction violations is not included in this policy.
Okay.
Okay. I'm with you. You're good with that, Catherine?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I
Okay.
think that was our intent was,
Yes.
was the at a high level, the intent was to continue operations as normal as it relates to the surveys and the process. What was just going to stop was we were not going to put fines on the water bill, and but anything that was in legal at this point was going to continue to stay with legal and move forward. My hope is that we're going to have very little that is going to pop up in this period, only because we have so little that is popping up when we're in a non-emergency state. And I'm hoping that when we get to the point where probably in June or July, that the board will be able to just make a blanket waiving of all fines that were in abeyance at that point. So, okay, so do we need to make a motion to accept these, or what do you want? How do we need to handle that, Bill?
I think you should make a motion to approve these and to approve them being placed on the website.
Okay. Okay.
So I so move with the addition of the bullet point that Bill suggested.
Okay, and I will second that. Do we have any comments from the rest of the board?
Nope, just as long as it's on the website.
Yeah, okay. I'm really happy about these. To me, it seems really clear as to terms of what the process is going to be, and that was important. Okay. Oh, I need to call the vote. Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris? Is he with us still?
Chris?
I don't see Chris. Must have got cut off.
Okay. Well, Lewis?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay. It passes. Okay. Do we have any pending appeals or fines to?
Actually, yes, I had an appeal come in at 8:57 a.m.
Okay.
Bill has advised that we cannot post it or share it on the screen, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you all the history. We had a overnight parking fine on 11/13/19, a second fine on 1/30 2020, and a third fine on 2/26/2020 at Granger for an overnight parking violation. They have asked for the board to waive it on the basis that the vehicle that was parked there was a work vehicle, an emergency response vehicle, and it is no longer there. It is gone and it is not coming back.
So it was a first responder's vehicle?
He, on his appeal, he puts that it was an emergency response vehicle that he was housing on his property. So he had his work vehicle, he had his personal vehicle, and that's why it was in the street. And that vehicle, the emergency response vehicle, is now gone, and he claims it will not come back.
We never
Okay.
got, there were markings on it and there was never any notification of such.
Okay.
You don't
No,
have
it's
any,
the emergency response
you don't have
vehicle
any
and-
photo, you don't have any photographs that would sustain his argument.
We have a photograph of the vehicle, but we can't tell from the vehicle that it was an emergency response.
There's no lights, there's no special plates, and you can't tell. It's a black vehicle at night. It's a clear picture, but it doesn't show any special markings.
Okay.
And it has not been on the, since 2/26, it has not come up on
Have they-
tour.
Has there
So
ever been a waiver? Has
He
there ever
said
been
that
a,
it is gone.
has there ever been a waiver for that
No, sir.
violation?
No,
Okay.
sir.
Well, then irrespective of whether it's a first responder or not, if there's never been a waiver of the fine, then we can do that. And I would so move.
Okay, I'll second that.
Both fines, the second and the third?
Yeah, all of them, that's fine. Yeah,
All right.
okay. So have those fines hit the bill?
Yes, they did.
Okay. So yeah,
Because
so
it
we're,
It was back in March, so
okay.
And it would be
the
important
fines
to tell,
happened in February and January, so they've been on the bill for a while.
and of course, you'll tell them that if the car returns, the fines just jump right back in.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So
do you-
do we, hold on, so let me finish the vote. So do we have any more discussion? Okay, I'm gonna call the vote. Jana,
Yes.
Art,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Louis,
Yes.
and I vote yes also. Okay. Do you have anything else that have shown up for
Yes.
appeals?
We do. On Monday, the board voted to waive the fines for an unregistered vehicle on Old Mill, and the fine for a trailer based on the fact that the trailer would not come back. Chris had asked at that meeting if we thought that the trailer would come back, and it has come back, according to an email that I got yesterday. So it is now, according to, on the first email, we were told that it was going to be coming back and being used to transport rocks, and it would be parked in the street and for a period of time. And then the second email came back and said that it was going to be coming during the day and leaving at night. Then we had another email come in response to the first violation regarding the trailer, that the trailer was not stored on the lot, and it had been moved and returned in the morning for whatever job that they were doing. We do have a picture of it being at night parked in front of the house with the vehicle, not the trailer full of debris. The trailer is not attached to the truck. The truck is parked in the wrong direction, facing the traffic, the flow of traffic, with garbage cans behind it. So we need the board to decide, one, do you all want to enforce it if it's in the street? And if they do bring it back, because the intention in the email is that it will come back in the future whenever they need it. And how do you all want us to enforce that?
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
The fine that we waived was related to the trailer being in the driveway, correct?
No, it was on the property in front of the house.
But it was not on the street. It was in the property.
It was in the street in front of the house.
In the street. Okay, you said on the
Yes.
property. It was in the street. So that the fine that was waived related to the truck being in the street.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But
And
your all's motion was that if it came back,
the fine would apply.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm going to suggest, and we've talked this over, what I'm going to suggest is that we refer this to legal so that we can ask legal to sort out the various issues that might apply here relative to the hazardous nature of the trailer in the street and other deed restriction aspects. So I think we need to get a report back from the attorney on that. So
Okay.
I would move that we refer this issue to the attorney, and we're not collecting fines now anyway. So the reapplication of the fine to the bill doesn't have any meaning. So my motion would be that we refer this issue to legal.
Okay, and I'll second that. Do we have any more discussion about this issue?
Yeah, Jimmy, have you had an opportunity to talk to them since then, after you saw it in the street again?
No, sir.
they asked us to not come on the property.
Yes, back in December, when he was at the public meeting, he asked that I not approach him on his property. I had told him that I don't do that anyway.
Okay.
You remember that now?
Now I remember. And they didn't send any email or call or anything like that.
Yes, they did. Yesterday in the morning, they sent an email that the trailer was going to be back, and then and that it would be there for a period of days while they're doing the xeriscaping. And then then I got a second email stating that it was going to be there during the day and it would leave at night. We have not followed up to take a picture. I think I sent the history and the email thread to the committee for their review, and we're just waiting on a directive to see how you all want us to proceed with this. And it looks like it's just going to go to legal.
Right.
Chris, that's one of the reasons I suggested we take this to legal was that I've seen those emails that have come in from the property owner. And those emails raise all kinds of issues. And we have a history of this particular resident coming to our meeting and being very contentious. So I'd like for legal to advise us of where we stand on this, because I want to give the residents the opportunity for us to address the issues they raise, which may or may not be valid, and for us to determine how we want to proceed based on legal advice.
No, I understand. I also understand it's somebody, trying to make a buck, and they're doing it on the cheap, and, it's not fair to the neighbors, but it happens.
Okay, so I'm going to call the vote. Excuse me, Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay. Okay, so what else do we have? Do we have anything else?
That was it on appeals. I had a phone call that someone else was going to send an appeal, but they never did send it. So
Next month.
it'll maybe come up next month. But it is from a violation from January.
Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to think. I know that I saw it.
Yeah, Catherine, we can move to 10D, and I believe we have a carryover from Monday. We talked about the Tierra Blanco
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
And I believe you were considering making a motion to authorize the lawsuit.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking for. It's like I downloaded all of the attachments, and it's like, where is it?
I sent it to you in a separate email. Do you want me to try to read?
Yeah. Would you share the screen? Okay.
I don't know.
You see it now?
Here it is, yes. Okay. So basically, the overview of this is I'm asking that we move the house at 2700 Tierra Blanco Trail, move that to legal to deal with the rolls of AstroTurf and the storing and the trailers. Diana, can you tell me how long and how many letters this particular resident has received?
For you.
Because this has been going on for quite a while. He's got to has got to have moved to the fine stage by now, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's in numerous fines now.
Okay, and he's never responded to any questions?
Not only that, I mean, when I think he was at pre-fine stage. You all escalated to legal
Okay.
at that point, at pre-fine.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to read the motion and then we'll move forward. I hereby move that the district find enforcement of the restrictions found in the Declaration of Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions for Anderson Mill West Section 5, recorded under volume 1576, page 291 of the official records of Williamson County, Texas, is necessary to sustain taxable values in the district, including but not limited to Article 2, Sections R and H of the Declaration, and I hereby further move that the board authorize its attorneys, the law firm of Willett and Ficklinger, PLLC, to take all necessary actions, including the filing of suit against Rusty Thornhill, the owner of 2700 Tierra Blanco Trail, Cedar Park, Texas, 78613, to ensure such restrictions due to the current violations at that property, which include storing rolls of AstroTurf in the driveway and storing two trailers at or near the property at 2700 Chianco Trail, and to collect all amounts owed to the district, including the fines for deed restriction violations. Can I have a second?
I'll second. This is Lewis.
Yeah. Okay, do we want to have any more discussion about this? Basically, we're making this totally official. We're throwing this over the fence to Bill to move forward with.
Sounds okay to me.
Okay.
Catherine, to answer your question, 4 fines on the trailers. You have 2 fines on the open storage, and the unregistered vehicle is coming up on a fine also.
Oh, there's an unregistered vehicle involved in this also?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, I'm going to call the vote. Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris? Chris? Lewis?
Yes.
And I vote yes also. Okay. Okay.
Chris, looks like Chris came back.
Okay. Chris, did you want to vote?
I did. I've been unmuting and voting. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay. Approval of minutes from the prior meeting.
Were those in the package?
We don't have any DRC minutes.
Okay. Okay. E, do we have anything about the lawsuit at 2202 London Lane?
Nothing new.
Okay. And funding, item F, funding for an interaction with the neighborhood associations. I don't think there's anything here. G, request from the neighborhood associations and homeowner associations. I don't believe there's anything there. And H, restrictive covenant management agreement between district and Sage. We took care of that on Monday, correct, Bill?
Correct.
Okay.
We'll take it off the agenda.
Okay. Agenda item 11, report from the investment committee.
We have nothing to report
Okay.
unless Chris has something. We've covered the report. That was
Okay.
in finance.
Okay. Agenda item 12, report from the audit committee. and arbitrage and yield restrictions analysis. Do we have anything to discuss about that?
I have an update to present. And
Oh, great. Okay.
So the consultants have been working on these reports we authorized. And as you recall, one of the reports was dealing with interest earned on our accounts that may have exceeded the rate allowed by the IRS. And so they're essentially close to having all those reports ready and submit. We'll talk to the committee first and come back. What I anticipate next month is we'll have the paperwork prepared to make the payment to the IRS under that report. And when that payment is made, there are a couple other things that we need to do at the same time. There'll be a letter. It's a formal letter presenting the payment and the reasons for the late payment, along with adoption of some procedures going forward. These are things that the IRS likes to see when there's a late payment. So there will be some additional costs involved in that. I would like to get some authorization for the committee to incur those costs so that we can have everything packaged up, ready to go next meeting. And those costs relate to the letter I'm speaking of, which will either involve the consultant we're engaged now and or the bond attorney we have, and then a set of procedures that will probably involve those two people as well. I'm estimating those additional costs will not exceed $1,500.
Okay.
If we could get approval for the committee, that'll just save us time putting all this together.
For the approvals for the committee to be able to make those expenditures, is that what you're saying?
Let's say up to $1,500.
Okay. And the audit committee is Chris and Art?
No, Chris and Lewis is not.
Oh, Chris and Lewis. Okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and make the motion to authorize up to not to exceed $1,500 to clear up all the arbitrage issues. How about that?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Now that, as the $1,500 is just to prepare the documents and prepare the procedures, we still have no idea how much money we're actually sending to the IRS, correct?
I don't have the exact amount, but I believe it's going to be around 10,000 or less.
Really, that much? Okay.
Well, that's actually a relatively small amount.
Oh, yeah, it depends on, compared to other things. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call the vote. Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay. Okay, agenda item 13, report from the Bills and Invoice Committee. Have we worked out all the details in terms of making sure we get signatures on everything? Did we all agree on how that was going to happen?
We need one more signature for checks.
Okay.
Do it that way, but we did make a motion in the last meeting where only one person would have to do it in an emergency. So we do need one more person on the checks, and we need another person to sign the balance, the transfers from bank to bank.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out, Jana, that there were 2 transfers from last month that we didn't get the third signature on. So I included those in the packet to be signed as well.
Okay, but I think Lewis, you were going to coordinate with Christy to make sure that you were the third signature.
I'm available for that. And Christy said that she was going to just bring some.
Okay, so do we have anything to discuss about review of payments on current not to exceed expenditures? Okay, B, amendment to Code of Ethics and Financial Management, Travel and Professional Services Policy.
It's not ready yet. We haven't had a chance to meet with Bills and Invoices Committee to discuss it.
Got it.
Shutdown with the shutdown occurred, and we were going to meet around then. We haven't had a chance.
Got it. Okay, item 14, report from the Budget Committee.
We don't have anything.
I don't
Okay.
think we have anything pending.
Okay, and agenda item 15, report from customer care, answers to prior questions from residents, district concerns. Louis, did you have anything that you wanted to put in at this agenda item? You're on mute, dude.
I'd like to cover a couple of things, and Jana, jump in if you think it's when you think it's appropriate. And further to my comments on Monday, we know that people. I want the residents to know who are going to be seeing this recording that we know there are people hurting in the community. They've lost their jobs.
Hold on,
And,
Louis. That's
yeah.
information management. That's not customer care.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, so yes. Okay, so we'll reserve that until then. Okay, so then I'll pass.
Okay. Okay. Online postings, inaccurate or misleading sites. Do we have anything to talk about that?
This is Louis. I was going to say something that we've had so much negativity in this meeting from Linda and Sarah to begin with. I'm reluctant to jump in and add more, but I want the residents to know that we are not going to spend your taxpayer money for giving legal advice to two people, Sarah and Linda, who are amateur lawyers and keep coming up with legal interpretations and expecting us to educate them on the law, or they go and complain to officials based on their own legal interpretations, and they keep asking us to tell them if they're correct and whether they're right or wrong. We're just not going to do that. They need to see their own lawyers. We're not going to spend taxpayer money to educate them in the law. So, and I think I'll let it go with that. There's some other things I'd like to cover, but we've already had so much negativity in today's meeting from them.
Okay. Agenda item 16, video recording of board meetings by the district.
Everything seems to be going pretty quickly with that. As far as I know, because right, Jimmy? Because I think you're actually doing the minutes for that, or not the minutes, the time stamping, like kind of keeping track of that. And then Touchstone is being very quick to get it back to us so we can post it on the website and to YouTube. Lee can probably chime in with that.
Yeah, they've been very quick with getting things back. They got the DRC meeting back to us today, so that's been posted online. So hopefully by Friday we can get this meeting. If not Friday, probably Monday.
Okay, great. Okay, agenda item 17, report from the Information Management Committee. District website.
Okay, so one thing I want to add, I just want to mention, while walking through the neighborhood in the last few weeks, you know, I'm chatting with neighbors and just kind of, you know, just chatting regularly. And, you know, a lot of them are working from home, but a lot of them are unemployed. And so I'm thinking, well, you know, maybe some of them can get unemployment because they were, you know, not contractors, such as they weren't beauticians or, you know, manicurists, or didn't have their own business. And so I put a list together with Louis, and Lee helped us to, you know, so to help the community if they need essential items such as food and paper towels and whatever people can, you know, whatever people can need. So if anyone else has any suggestions for additions, please let us know. I'll just give you some examples real quick. I don't have them all written down, but, you know, of course, there's the Central Texas Food Bank. There's the Area Agency on Aging, Reveal Resource Center, Hill Country Community Ministries, Aunt Bertha Food Bank, and Fresh Food for All. And I'm still working on a few others that my neighbors down the street are looking at. A couple of places actually deliver to your home, so you don't have to drive anywhere. So that would be great for people that are sick or elderly and can't leave their house.
Okay, so if I'm following you, what you're talking about is creating a page with links to other organizations that people can go to get resources in this pandemic period.
Actually, hold on 1 second. We actually have this. We put it on the COVID-19 page and we added a resources page.
Got it. Okay, so we've already done it.
Do you have anything else to add?
So for the residents that will be looking at this recording, go to the homepage for Williamson Travis County MUD1, WTCMUD1.org. Look at the link on the far right side that says COVID-19, and under that you'll see another link that says resources, and there you'll find the material that Jan is talking about.
Thanks.
Okay, that's great. Okay, B, cybersecurity training.
Yeah, there's nothing new to report on that. I think you've all received an email on how to go about it, at least with one of the programs. Matt sent out an email. I think Lewis reported, and I think we've confirmed that the deadline has been extended to the end of the year, so there's no big rush to do it. But if you have time and can do that training and complete it, that'll be one less thing to worry about.
Okay. Okay, so 17C, additional services from Touchstone. And
we have some supplements, or not supplements, agenda packet items.
Yes.
Lewis,
we have two proposals that we asked for. Jan and I have been working with them, so Janet, chime in if you want. What we've asked for is a proposal to set up a Facebook page for the MUD, and the second was to audit our website. And one of the concerns we have is the website is nearing its capacity of functionality, and perhaps Jana or Lee could speak to that. So we've got two different proposals. Jana, you want to say anything?
Well, what happened was we started with Wix, the Wix website, and Infomark has been doing a great job of keeping that going, but it's kind of slow at times, and I think Lee can add a little bit more information to that for us if she's there still.
Yeah, I'm here. So Wix has really been great so far, but we do have limited storage space on it. And as we add more and more documents, the site kind of slows down a little bit, at least in terms of editing, if not so much on the user side. So it can be really slow and difficult to work with, and it makes some really fun formatting changes that have to be redone constantly. It's a good server overall, but it's a little bit more limited maybe in terms of what you all might be looking for in the future.
so let me see if I understand what's going on. Is from a functionality point of view, we're okay, but from a storage point of view, in terms of how big the website can be, we are going to outgrow it from a resource point of view.
I think that's probably the case, and one of the fun things about Wix is they don't tell you how much storage you're using until you've used it. So we haven't hit that point yet, but there's no telling, because we're loading up, things like the agenda packets and larger files onto the website that, are taking up a lot more space than just links to things.
Okay, so, and that's really what the issue is that because we're starting to, rely more and more on things on the website. So, okay, so 17, so what you're proposing is to move someplace else?
No, what the proposal is for Touchstone to audit our website and to give us some recommendations on what we can do to meet whatever limitations we might be running up against.
Okay,
right.
Okay. And so at this point, we're hoping that we can continue to stay on the platform, but we're hoping for some technical expertise in order to make it easier for us to live within the platform.
Yeah, I think we're open to whether we want to navigate away from that platform or not. And the package, each one of us got a package, which is the proposal from them.
Right.
And And the proposal indicates the kind of thing they're going to be auditing for functionality. And I'm just not an expert on that. Janet, have you looked at it? Do you have any comments?
I have looked at it, and yeah, because we've discussed it, so I don't have any comments at this time. I think
Okay.
it's time to
Yes.
have an audit overall of our website to see how well it's working, and to see how efficiently, how much more space we have.
Okay. Okay.
So their proposal is for $1,500
Okay.
for the time to review, test, and craft the finalized report and submit it to the
Okay.
district.
And what's the deliverable?
The deliverable is let's see, newsfeed. Touchstone will review the existing website for overall legislative compliance as stated in the consulting agreement. As a website provider, Touchstone takes on all commercially reasonable efforts to ensure the district website is legally compliant and following regulations for sites they manage. This helps take the burden off the attorney and directors. And then they also talk about having the functionality that they are looking for, that they would suggest. So
Okay.
Touchstone perform an audit on the overall content to compare it to standards for MUD websites. Standard websites features should include, and they have a bullet list of things.
Got it.
that
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we're talking about a proposal for, what did I say, $1,500.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have a recommendation? Do we have a proposal? A
Jana,
motion?
do we have a recommendation from the committee to support the proposal? I think we do. Do you agree, Jana? Well, Jan and I have talked this over, and we have a recommendation to support the proposal. So I would so move. Janet can jump in if she's here. I think she may have walked.
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you now. Okay, you
Okay.
second. Okay, so no, do we have any more discussion about this particular proposal? I actually think that this is actually very timely.
Yeah.
Did we have any other proposals from anybody else?
We have not found anyone that can deal with the unique legal problems we have of maintaining a website. That there's somebody out there, we don't know about them, and these people have been doing it for a number of municipal entities, and they're now doing it for the Hayes County MUD that Christie also works with, and so they have some experience in doing it for MUDs. And then we also had the CEO of the company. I asked to have a long talk with Bill about their understanding of the legal issues that have to be addressed. And I think, Bill, you had a conversation with him about that.
Well, I did have a conversation, yes.
Yeah. So the short answer, Chris, is no.
Okay, but we have had some recommendations, referrals from other entities.
No, we haven't. When
No.
you say referrals for these consultants, you mean?
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
said we're using them. We think they did a good job.
Yeah, Hayes County. Christie can speak to that. Hayes County is using them. They have a MUD that Christie runs.
In several places in Houston, right? AWBD didn't.
Well, I'm not sure how many MUDs have picked up. When I first started talking to them about this after a conference where they were on a panel talking about this kind of thing, at that time they were doing fire departments and police departments. And
Right.
since then, I think they've taken on some MUDs, but I haven't kept up with those details. But I do know that they have a proposal in front of the Hayes County MUD that Christie runs, and Christie might be able to say something about that.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I can see where the service is needed. All I'm concerned with is that they actually have the expertise to be able to deliver, the kind of product we're expecting. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. At this point, it's a report. They're not going to be actually doing the website, but that may be one of the things they'll propose, of course. But that
No. I understand. But the report is just the text of the service they perform. They're doing an audit. Okay.
Right.
And the report is the report of the audit. I just, do they have the expertise, to perform this type of work? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Chris, the very reasonable question you're asking is, do they have the appropriate expertise to do this audit?
Right.
Yeah, and that's a very appropriate question. And my impression from what I've seen, both in the conferences I've attended where they've put on seminars and with the experience there that Hayes County MUD is having with them, I feel that they do.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, do we have any more comments? Okay, I'll go ahead and call the vote. Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes too. Okay.
Now we
So
have the other.
Yes.
We have the other proposal from them, which is
Right,
to
so
set-
this is the second one, 17C. And it looks like this is to start our social media presence. Am I saying this correctly?
Yes.
Okay. And if I remember correctly, there's an awful lot of legalese, so to speak, legal requirements that are required for a governmental entity to have a Facebook page. Am I saying that correct, Bill? That there's an awful lot of rules that have to be followed.
Well, the primary concern is the open records retention, and they've indicated, I think it's in this proposal, but they've indicated that they've set up a procedure or a process to retain all the necessary information related to the site. We have a separate item after this on communications policy. That's not ready to be presented tonight, but that'll also be important related to activity on the site and how the board interacts with the site and how the public behaves on the site. So there are some rules that we're going to have to develop that aren't ready yet, but it's not really part of their proposal per se. I think their proposal, Louis, correct me, is to go ahead and get the Facebook site set up. And initially it will be essentially just providing information. It won't be initially an interactive site per se. And as we develop that further, then we'll have these other rules I'm talking about.
And we should add that the Facebook page would be managed by them unless and until we decide we want to gradually take over.
Correct. Correct. Initially, they'll manage it and they have an hourly rate for that.
Yes. So they're talking about $600 to set it up and $135 an hour for the management of the platform. And that's the kind of thing we would look at as to, do they keep managing it and how intense does it get? And as Bill pointed out, is it one way? Do we just post things? Can people answer things? Things like that have to be worked out.
Right.
And that can get kind of dicey.
Right. I'd like to mention that there is a budget item that talks about communication, and this was exactly the issue that I was looking for that budget item to address. So all of this is within the budget that we have in place right now.
How much is that budget item, Catherine?
I think it was like 20K.
20K?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to add the just for you information that Touchstone, many of them that work there, the two guys that we have been speaking with, Michael and Simon, I believe their names are, they are public information officers, so they have to do Facebook pages and website pages very specific to public information. I just want to add that.
Okay,
Are you saying they have the experience? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they are actually, they're public information officers, so they have to, it's a certain kind of.
Is it a certification?
The
That's what I'm
certification,
going to ask. Is
a
it
license that you
certification
must
of some
have to
sort?
have.
Yeah. And they are official public information officers for various entities that they do this kind of stuff with. And
Why not you get something like that? I've never heard of that.
There's a certification for everything now. Okay.
I can't answer the question either.
Okay, so we have a proposal. Does somebody want to make a motion, and then I'll need a second?
Janet, you want to move? You want me to move?
I don't have the, what, how much was it?
Yeah, I've got
Or
it here.
Why don't you go
Yeah.
ahead and do it? Have it.
So I move that we accept a Touchstone proposal for to set up a Facebook social media account. It'll be $600 for the account, and then the time that they work would be $135 an hour. And what I would move that we authorize an amount not to exceed, let's say, what do you think, Janet, $3,000, and then we can revisit it later?
I don't know if it would be that much. Maybe 2,000.
2,000. Okay, so it'd be $600 to set it up, $135 an hour for the management, and an amount not to exceed 2,000. And with the understanding that we can choose to revisit this later.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. So I'll second that.
Okay, so do we have any more discussion? Okay, I'll call a vote. Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
And I vote yes also. Okay. Let's see.
Catherine, I just wanted to be sure, the line item that you were talking about, the GL code, that was the communication expense for 25,000.
Oh, is that how much it was? Okay.
Yeah. And since I interjected, let me finish that by, I'll tell you the GL code, if I can find it again.
Okay.
7702, 25,000. You haven't spent any of it thus far this fiscal year.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so then 17D, the communications policy, and that I guess is going to go in with what we just agreed to, but we haven't finished it yet. Am I correct, Bill?
Yeah, we have not had time to work on it yet.
Okay. Okay, agenda item 18, report from the infrastructure committee. Do we have anything that we haven't discussed so far for the infrastructure committee?
I think we covered it all.
Anything? I can't.
Okay. Agenda item 19, report from the management committee.
Chris, I don't have anything.
Okay.
I just I had a visit with Lee this week as far as Waste Management's performance is concerned, and it's my understanding that we should not take it any further about any legal canceling the contract or anything. They're performing all right.
That's a good segue to the next agenda item.
Okay, agenda item 20, report from the solid waste committee.
The one thing we have is the CPI increase by Waste Management. And in your agenda packet, there's a attachment 20A. When they first wrote the letter, they had some typos on what index they were referring to, but and I think Michael's looked at this too. The 3.55% increase is accurate, and so your rates go to $18.12 and $15.95 for seniors. That includes the solid waste and the recycling. So we think those numbers are correct. There's really no board action required in it, but it's something to consider, like I said before, in your rate order, perhaps in the future, because these rates are now getting to a level that you might want to reconsider the base rates.
Okay, so basically are we having like a $3 a month increase? Is that what's going up on? Is that what I heard?
No, it's
The percentage, it's 3.55.
Well, what's that turning into from on my bill then? That's that's what I'm trying to understand.
I don't know what the current rate is. Michael, I don't know if you have that information.
I think it's like
Let me
5 cents a
pull
month.
that up. Hang on. I have that letter and those numbers somewhere. So let me get to the right area and I will be able to tell you.
Yeah, because in that letter, they say the fee from 18.12
Yeah, but that's
to,
not,
and then they don't put what it is.
yeah, that's a typo. The previous letter that was also had typos had the, I think it had the rate and what it was increasing to. But these rates they have here is what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the updated response that he had. The initial letter, what happened is that he grabbed the wrong number underlying the calculation of the CPI. The CPI had been calculated correctly and the letter stated the right amount, but the underlying documentation was incorrect. So I raised the flag. I ran the numbers. That's what I do. And I raised the flag, and they were able to pull up the correct numbers, show me the raw data, and we could see that the calculation was correct. Now, the specific question about what is the rate, let me see if I can find that.
Art, if it was $20 a month for service, that rate increase is about 70 cents a month more.
Right.
Oh, okay, so it's nothing that I'm gonna notice is what you're
Well,
saying.
no, but it's not 20. It's something like, I'm curious to know what the current rate is per resident.
Okay.
No, that's fair. I'm just saying though, I think it's around $20, and if we're increasing it by 3.55, that's another 70 cents.
All right, guys, it says in here that it's 1812 now. Let's see, it goes from 18.
Yeah, the letter's misleading because it's saying two different rates, and one is lower. The second number is lower than the first because that's the senior citizen rate.
Yeah, it's $15.95 for the senior residents and $18.12 for the regular non-senior.
That's what it's going to, or that's what the current rate is?
That's what it's going to, and the current rate, stand by.
Okay, man.
Should be in your rate order.
The rate order doesn't match up directly with that. We have a water base and we have a wastewater base. And I don't know if we even reconsidered that when we did the amendment and added the large carts. So in 2018, when we did the amendment, the fee was $16.68, and with a $2 discount for seniors. So there would have been at least one CPI increase on that in this one.
Okay.
In other words, it's not a significant increase this year, but it's something to look at when you look at the rate order.
Like Chris says, if it's below $20, it's pretty reasonable.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Okay, agenda item 21, report from the Records Monitorization Committee. Is there anything going on right now?
Yes, we have a meeting scheduled for next either Monday or Tuesday.
Tuesday. That's right.
Is it a virtual meeting?
Of course.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, and that's when you're going to talk about item A, iPads, notebooks for directors, use of Google Docs and Google Drive?
That's correct.
Okay. B, additional contract with Infomart for employee for part-time person to assist with open records requests. What's going on with that?
I guess we're still working on that.
Okay.
That's part of the committee's work.
Okay. Okay. So C, procedures for digitalizing district records and estimated associated costs.
The same, it's part of the committee's work.
Okay. We've already taken care of agenda items 22 and 23. Agenda item 24, service provider vendor evaluations. I haven't had anything to offer on that one yet.
Yeah, we're still working through that one.
Okay. Agenda item 25, traffic hazards in district, request to county to restrict through traffic. That's just a standing order. Do we have anything?
I don't think so. We've had a couple complaints about speeders on Astor Pass, Dias Road, and Old Mill, which is very strange because nobody's really driving that much right now. We also have we still have the school zones blinking, and a few people were like wondering, should we just abide by them? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to, because I don't want to get pulled over. So
yeah.
And I think Bill was working on the Travis County licensing of the radar signs.
Right, so that's 26, agenda item 26, license agreements with Williamson and Travis County for solar speed signs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So what's going on with that? I think there's been a little bit of movement, hasn't there, Bill?
Yeah, we're not done yet, but in general, the county's been very cooperative. You'll recall that they did not want the sign that is like a person in the median.
Right.
Even though it's over there in Anderson Mill, of course that's in the city of Austin now. They didn't want those, but they would allow a different kind of sign. The board said that we want to pursue that, but we haven't finalized with the county yet. We'll continue.
Okay. Okay.
And the other ones were the solar speed signs, where they're actually going to move, possibly move our speed signs and then put a solar speed sign, our solar speed signs above it, hopefully.
And that's in Travis County, correct?
Yeah, Travis County.
Okay, so what we're going to do is on the already installed speed sign, we're just going to put our solar sign on the same pole.
Not quite. They're going to have to move. They're going to have to put in new speed signs and then put the solar signs above them because they're in different areas.
Okay, but this is all in Travis County.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Okay, agenda item 27, minutes from prior meetings. Do we have any to consider? I think we did. I think we had.
There are 3 sets.
Yeah. We put them together for you.
Okay. I think we had.
They're at the end of the manager's report, item 6. I think it's all part of that package at the end. There are 3 sets too.
Okay. Okay, let me find the other one. There we go. That was what I'm looking for. So there's 3 sets in this one. There we go.
Is it in the manager report, Catherine?
It's in the one called Agenda Item 6, Part 1.
Ah.
And they are, it starts on page
6 Part 1.
15.
Why do I not have 6 Part 1? I have 6 Part 2.
Ah.
I was looking at the wrong one. Page 15?
Yeah, it starts on page 15 of a 40-page document.
Got it. So that's for the February 19th meeting.
Right.
Okay. And you said it's, here it is. Did you say February 19th, Luz?
That's the heading on it is February 19th, 2020.
Okay, I'm looking at it now.
This is such a long time ago compared to what's been going on for the last month.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve all those minutes.
There's two sets, right? March 25th, the other one.
Yeah, March
There's
20th.
Yeah, the special meeting from the 20th as well.
Oh, I didn't see the 28th.
And the 25th.
Yeah, 25th, I see that.
Yeah, well, the
And we
20th
did
is,
GRC and the board there, right?
right, but the 20th was, we did that one also.
Yeah, the 20th is in here.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so any discussion?
Well,
That was a no. Okay, I'll go ahead and call the vote then. Jana,
yes.
Art,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Louis,
Yes.
and I vote yes too. Okay, so all I need now is somebody to move that we close the meeting.
I move so.
Okay, got a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, all of everyone in favor say aye.
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 Okay, I declare this meeting closed.
Thank you, everyone.
One.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.